Welcome to the Fischer-Z 50th anniversary audio series, where I've picked my favourite tracks over the years, and I'm going to share the story of those tracks and a lot more.
Thanks, John. And as a reminder, my name is Martin Bull, and I'll be hosting and helping John curate his way through all of his favourite tracks. Now, this episode features I Need You from the Cry album Quick, Quick, Slow from 1984. Let's get into it. So, John, we're now going to cover I Need You from the Cry album, Quick, Quick, Slow, 84. Yeah. Now, I'm just intrigued as to the last episode we talked about the two John Watts songs from One More Twist and Iceberg Model.
Yeah.
And then you changed to a band, The Cry. Why do that?
Well, I wanted to do that because with the solo stuff, that was relatively stiffed by EMI because they wanted me to go back to being Fischer-Z. And I just felt I wanted a new start for it. And I was going to create a new sort of sound anyway. From the Iceberg Model, which I was delighted with, was kind of, in a way, experimental. It had really good songs on it and had big arrangements with a big band. And at that stage, there was a lot of interesting pop stuff knocking about. I think, I suppose humanly, Don't You Want Me Baby must have been at that time. And I just thought, well, yeah, you can make those really good pop songs. And so I went to a different label. We got signed by Arista. I went to Arista, deciding what to call it. I had very, very, very good management temporarily. A guy called Sandy Robertson, who later he's retired now, but his daughter runs. He's probably the biggest manager of producers and artists in the world in California. He was a South African guy. But the trouble was, I didn't realize how good he was. So we worked on stuff. He was just such a mild-mannered bloke. I mean, all you want from management is they increase your profile, they get you money, they get you famous, basically. And he had that ability to do it. And so, for instance, we got a deal. I went to David Simoni, who was the boss of Arista. Yeah, we got a deal, no problem. It all went straightforwardly. We went to places we went to New York to see which producer I wanted to work with. And it was all that sort of stuff. It was very, very good. But in the end, I talked myself out of that, because I just didn't think he was doing anything. But of course he was. He was really facilitating lots of stuff. But anyway, the Arista deal turned up, and then they wanted me to. Well, I didn't realize. I've taken note. I think I've said to you before, I'm not interested in the way the music business builds up. I'm not interested in the history of it particularly. And what happened was I didn't realize by signing to Arista, you were also signing to Clive Davis in New York, who was probably the most powerful musical mover at that stage, and David Kirschenbaum, who was his head of A&R. Now, I take no notice of what Kirschenbaum's done or what David or any of them. I didn't care really. I just took them on face value. So a really good an A&R man, a guy called Simon Potts, he's a great guy, Pottsy. I think he lives in California now. I think he's from the Northeast. He liked the stuff. He was the head of A&R. And he said, go to New York and go and meet David Kirschenbaum, who I didn't know who he was, of course, and a bloke who ended up producing it. Well, I've forgotten his name. That's sad. Anyway, the story with that was they reckoned that, and they said that Clive Davis really liked it. And I thought, I didn't know who Clive Davis was because I'd never done the history. Jimmy Douglas.
Yeah, Jimmy Douglas.
Now, when I met both of them in New York, now I just didn't get on with Kirschenbaum. I just didn't. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say really because it would be derogatory. But I just felt he had a funny green boiler suit and he was a bit wiggly and he wanted to do this. He really wanted to do the record and he had the studio time and everything ready to do it. And I just couldn't see it because I was making what I thought was an English pop record at the time, so I didn't think it was appropriate. Anyway, I didn't get on with him, but Jimmy Douglas was a good time, amazing black guy, and he'd been in Slave. I mean, recently, Jimmy Douglas has done things like for Madonna and everybody as a producer. I mean, Jimmy's great fun. And so I went for the great fun department. And so we recorded in London, Chalk Farm, Bronze Studios, right near, what was it called? I can't remember. Dingwalls it was. It's round the corner from Dingwalls. So we recorded there. And that recording was about 3 hours a day. Because Jimmy, and then we'd sort of go over to Dingwalls, and Jimmy would have a couple of bottles of champagne, pick up a couple of girls, and then we'd start again the next day. Now it was great fun, Jimmy, but obviously when you record it like that, you get a thing whereby you get funk tracks like that. So you hear the bass drum and it goes buff, but the snare drum went buff and the hi-hat went buff, so it was all a bit buffy. And so in the end, when we mixed it, it was. What you have, I'm coming to the fact with things like Need You, I love that song and I still play it live. That could easily be Phil Spector produced. It could be produced like a real 60s boom, ba-boom, clang type thing. And I think the two songs that Clive Davis was really keen on was Need You and The Way You Move. Now, when they said that had to be a hit in America, I immediately took it off the record because I just didn't feel it was relevant for England because it sounded like a rock song. I love that. I listened back to that. I thought, blimey, that came before. What was it? He did ding 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 and Ghostbusters and all that kind of stuff.
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah. And anyway, so that we I think we shelved that at the time. I don't remember we did a video for it as well. And so basically, things like Need You and The Way You Move would have had a good chance in America had we actually pushed it there. But I was also at the end of a management dispute with a bloke who'd been my friend, and it was a bit messy. And at that stage, what happened there? Did I have any kids? Yeah, Lucy'd arrived by then. And so I was happy, but quite out the window. And at that stage, so Need You really, produced if it had been it could have been produced a bit more popularly at that stage. It would have been that's the story of Need You.
It didn't seem an immediately obvious choice in terms of your favorite songs.
I was trying to think. Well, there was a lot of good songs on the Cry record. Don't Cry, That Baby Don't Cry was another single. It could have been, but it wasn't. Trying to think what else is on it. It's
Well, you
just
got No Time for Love.
oh yeah.
Take
Well,
It
that's
Round
great, that
Again.
one, because it's really funny because when you hear the lyrics to it, look at the internet to see what the lyrics for No Time for Love should be. And there's a line in it. It's about sweat. It's about little 13-year-old girls making dresses in sweatshops in South America, right? No Time for Love. And the point about it was, I say because the line in the song is her hair in knots, her dreams beyond control. And when it's translated on the internet, they sometimes call it her hairy nuts, her dreams beyond her control. It's really funny. That's a good song. There's a lot of really good stuff on the Cry album, I think.
No time for love, you don't ask why. It's time for what? Your pillow is warm. Slip on your sandals, imagine you're off to the ball. They weren't awake, you close the door. It's so unusual to sleep alone. Your hair in knots, your dreams beyond their control. No time for love, I can't explain. No time for love within these walls. No time allowed to be a child. No time for love. No time for love. No time. No chance for romance in no time to be a child. No time.
Let's see. It led the way to The Perfect Day, definitely.
Well, but the lyrics of "I Need You" seem to be, there was a reference to "faint hearts and promises let me down."
Yeah.
I wondered if that was it written for somebody specifically?
It was written it was being let down by my long-term friend and management. That must have influenced that.
Yeah. Okay. You seem to also, I mean, and I might be barking up the wrong tree here, but the Cry songs never seem to quite make. They're not very often in your live set. I don't know whether it's a conscious decision from you, but
They're in the solo set.
okay.
I mean,
And why would
bands
that
can't
be?
play them normally the way I want them played. Also, remember the sound of that. I felt it was mid-80s, but it wasn't cliched mid-80s.
No.
But I mean, Lead You as part of the set. I'd love to play more of them, actually. Now you say I would love to play No Time for Love. It's got such a funky
Oh,
drum.
it's a great song. It's a great song. Also, the way you move. What's wrong with that?
It's a rock song.
So
I
what?
mean, Springsteen could play it, or John Mellencamp, or something like that.
And your point is what?
I've always avoided being anything rocky. I always take the mick out of Brucey, and a lot of them are different. My girlfriend's department tend to be people about 20 years younger than me. It's not by choice. It seems to have been by error. But they all love Brucey, and I always take the mick out of Brucey. He's obviously a great talent, but it's the worship of rock and roll I can't stand. They say you're a rock star or something like that.
As opposed to just a great song.
Well, yeah, or the idea that yeah, I mean, it's a song. A song's a song's a song. I think that, I mean, again, those anything can surface. If I have to pick, and I did do when we honed down songs to say 20, then there are, I think I told you, and it's some like 130 of them.
Yeah.
I'd love to play, and I will do at some stage. I mean, could do a special thing. Maybe I'd do that when I'm 75. So you just do 75 of the songs, and you do 3 sets in a day.
You'd obviously got a bit of a following as well with the Cry, because obviously you
Oh yeah,
had some European TV broadcasts. I mean, was your sort of hope that band was going to get a bit more profile, maybe?
Don't think so. I think it was just that I just thought it was. I thought I'd do as a Cry. I just liked it. It was a new record company. It was new people. I mean, none of the albums have ever been designated as duds. People like that. I mean, the fans still like it. They ask for stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I mentioned I can't remember anything. What are the other songs on the Cry albums?
So
No,
you've got okay. So you've got. I'll give you the track listing.
I'll tell you the ones I can identify with.
It's Money Talks, Dreamland, Welcome to the Club, Before the Boat
Blimey.
Goes Down,
Blimey.
No Time for Love, Laughing and Crying, Take It Round Again, Don't Cry, Quick, Quick, Slow, and there's also on the B side, The Money Goes Down,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
obviously The Way You Move.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I can identify with at least half of those, and I'd quite happily play them.
I mean, this feels like a forgotten album.
Yeah, well, there are about 20 of them are.
Yeah, that's one of my questions.
I mean, the whole point of this year and this era is that hopefully when you have an anniversary, most people are just worshipping their strongest era. And I can't understand it. I mean, I watch these bands. I've got all respect for them. I went to do a show with my dear friend, Kirk Brandon. And did I tell you that? Their holiday camp thing. So there was one day they did Spear of Destiny, one day they did Theatre of Hate bits. And the Skids were there, and they were such lovely people. They were all lovely people. But I cannot understand. I couldn't possibly do a full set of the first three albums. I mean, it's just meaningless when you've had. I don't know how many other records they've made. Kirk's made a lot, and his voice is still really, really good. The only thing I have trouble with, as you probably know, is Marley's because of it was built to be sung high. It was guitar played to be sung high, and it just doesn't work as well. But I have to do it lower. I wouldn't do it by choice. I wouldn't play it live by choice.
You play it because it's expected.
Yeah, I'll play that for people because it means a lot to them. So I'll do it. And also, especially the following for the live shows is different. Mine, it's totally different.
Yeah,
it's 10 years younger, and it's a much higher proportion of women.
Also, the album, the Cry album, Quick Quick Slow, had an American mix.
Yeah,
and yet, but I've never seen another mix of it.
Oh, you haven't? The German one?
No.
The point was, I mixed it with Dear Richard, who I like so much and admire. Richard Manring, who worked with me on the Red Skies album.
Yeah.
After the Jimmy thing, I said everything sounded a bit buff, so I thought I'd mix it with Richard. So we went to Jolie and their studio, their winery in the south of France. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's a winery, and it was a studio that was used to be owned by Jacques Lussier. It's to play Bach. It was his studio. Miraval, it's called. So now they have the big wine thing. It's that they've got down there. It's yes. But we went down there. I remember the smell. It was nice. It was during the wintertime, and nice wood fires and hairy dogs and things like that. And we mixed that, and I didn't like it. But that would have been the American. Then I had it remixed as the American mix by somebody else. Who was that by? I think it was Simon. I can't remember. We just did it.
I mean, how different is it?
The American mix is less rocky, and the other one's more rocky. American mix would have been smoother and buffier. And yeah. But what was so pleasing is we had that drum sound from the mid 80s, but it didn't overpower everything else. But Need You, I like Need You. And I'd say it was been part of my solo set, and the band have played it recently. Let's look at the others. I think Need You was the easiest one for the band to play because it's an expected chord sequence. Do you know what I mean? Whereas No Time for Love, I remember the bass on that because Dave Graham played bass on that particular track, and the bass that yeah, don't you? That's right. That's Laughing and Crying. Sorry, No Time for Love. I'm confusing them now. But Need You is a timeless song. It could have been written in the 60s, and I like it. Also, it's very good for making up spoof versions. If you start with I Need You, and then you say I kicked you, and then I bit you. When I'm doing a sound check, I can put those things in the song.
Okay.
I'm very good at spoofs of my own songs and other people, mind you.
When you do one. We'll get on to Sausages and Tears at some point. But that's
maybe that's got a fantastic story to it. Billy Gap.
Where did it come from? Why did you?
It's like
a limbo song.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's exactly like a limbo song. Yes, But I mean, a lot of my interest in music is not just, if you like, is all sorts of strange music and humor. I love humorous songs.
I thought we were free, should have found out different. I thought we'd escape, but we still have to wait. You helped me stay calm, though we've been bombarded. Sheltered me with love through an arduous campaign. So much closer than we were. Makes it all worth fighting for. Vain hearts and promises let me down, let me down. And I need you. Yes, I need you. You're my shadow. Oh, I'm sure it's right. Careful with your friends, or they'll end up jealous. Loyalty and love are never for sale. You helped me escape all those complications. I thought we'd escape, but we still have to play. Open-eyed and innocent, situations aggravate. Vain hearts and promises let me down, let me down. And I need you. Yes, I need you. You're my shadow. Oh, I'm sure it's right.
Thanks, John, for those brilliant stories. The next episode features The Perfect Day from the Reveal album in 1987 and Say No from 1989's Fisher's Head album. See you then.
Thank you for listening to the Fischer-Z 50th anniversary audio series. I hope you enjoyed it. Look out for the next episode. Come on.